Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started here in about a minute, so if everyone could grab a seat. All right. So I'm going to speak from, is this? All right, good afternoon, everyone. Come on, we're a little happier than that to start the year, right? Good afternoon, welcome, and so happy to have all of you here as we kick off the new academic year and celebrate through Convocation our fall semester. And before we go ahead and get started, and I bring our greetings from our Board of Trustees, I would like to read our land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the land currently occupied by Folsom Lake College as the traditional home of the sovereign Nishinan, Maidu, and Miwok peoples, who have a unique and enduring relationship stewarding this land since time immemorial. Despite colonization, occupation, and genocide, the Nishinan, Maidu, and Miwok people continue to and thrive in their resilience and self-determination. We celebrate and recognize our Nishinan, Maidu, and Miwok tribal neighbors and honor their sustained existence. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Colette Harris-Matthews, who is the newest trustee on the Los Rios Board of Trustees, to give their greetings. Dr. Harris-Matthews.
Folsom Lake College. Wow, if that's all I had to say to get applause, it is a great time at Folsom Lake College. Let me take a moment to look at you. It's a little more difficult when the lights are before you, but I can see you. I can feel your energy. So let me take a moment to say, on behalf of the Los Rios Community College District Board of Trustees, it's a privilege to be here with you at Folsom Lake College as we celebrate the start of the fall 2025 semester. This is my first, I hear somebody's phone. See, some of you who start classes tomorrow or on Monday, you know, the phones don't bother us as much because we're used to seeing things in our classrooms and on our campuses, and you have to be aware of what's going on around you. But it's a privilege to be here. I am the newest trustee, but like many of you, I was a faculty member and an administrator, and I'm a community member. I had the opportunity to be at Folsom Lake over the summer with lots of students, young students, and I also had the opportunity to be here at the opening of Oak Hall. It is an exciting time for Folsom Lake College. I am here with one of our other trustees, John Knight, who serves as the trustee for this area. And on behalf of all of our trustees, Kelly Wilkerson was with us earlier today, the president of the board, and Deborah Ortiz. I welcome you to the fall 2025 semester. Convocation is always a highlight for trustees. I am the newest trustee, and I was here with you in spring, and so I have an idea of what happens at Folsom Lake College. And I will tell you, it's a special place. It's a special time in our district. It's a great time to be in our district. It's a great time to be at Folsom Lake College. My favorite moment at Oak Hall, I will tell you though, was after the comments, after President Pimentel spoke, after the trustees spoke, after the elected dignitaries spoke, I was taking a tour, and there were 4 Native students who were sitting in the back of a classroom and talking about the importance of the opening of Oak Hall. That speaks to equity and how we include students, and I was honored to spend a little time talking to those students. This speaks to student involvement, but also the sense of belonging that students feel here. There's nothing quite like being on campus at the beginning of a new academic year. You feel the vibe. Do you guys feel the vibe? Okay, that wasn't a good enough vibe. The hope, the sense of opportunity that comes with students returning to our classrooms and our campuses, and our students count on us. I know how much effort has gone into preparing this moment. Planning Convocation, hiring new faculty. I had an opportunity to meet several new faculty members from FLC at the new faculty reception. Welcome again. I hope I had an opportunity to say hello. Ensuring that students have what they need to be successful day one. This is not lost on trustees. We thank each and every one of you for being a part of what makes our district and Folsom Lake College extraordinary. Faculty, classified professionals, and administrators have spent countless hours making sure that FLC is ready to welcome students with open doors and open arms. Whether a student is a first-time freshman, returning mother of elementary school students who finally has the opportunity to take classes, or a professional looking to fine-tune their knowledge for their next career advancement, you are ready to meet those expectations. That preparation makes FLC and all of Los Rios such an essential part of our community. The results are visible. The culture of FLC is on display. Is it a falcontude? Is that a term that I remember? All right. And the reflections of those who attended Oak Hall opening, if you had an opportunity to be there, that the comments that people were made, it's really how integrated FLC is in the community. And it's from groundskeepers to faculty to administrators and to the community. Folsom Lake College is having an impact on our region. Enrollment has rebounding past pre-pandemic levels. I'm gonna pause there. More students are transferring and earning degrees. The economic impact of our students is astounding in this region. Perhaps more importantly, we are seeing meaningful gains for our students who have historically been left behind. The very students who need us most. I hope that you take the time to see the impact that you have, that each of you have on our campus, at FLC, in our district. This is no accident, it's felt. I felt it as you walked into the room. I encourage you to take time to really look at the students who make up FLC. Spend time walking around on campus in the first 2 weeks. Even if you teach online, you can walk around on an electronic footprint of seeing how FLC is making a difference. If you are teaching online, create space and community that is reflective of the culture of FLC. This is a direct result of your commitment to equity, your creativity in teaching and support, and the welcoming and inclusive environment you create every day. We also know the journey of equity, creativity in teaching and support is not over. It's ongoing. The work of expanding opportunities for students never ends. It never ends. But it is the joy that you have that students and that students expect. It requires constant attention and deep dedication. But that is exactly what makes FLC and our district so special. Our colleges serve as a lifeline, especially for students who may not see themselves represented in higher education. Representation matters. Here, they find not just classes and credentials, but a community that believes in them. Students, and I told a new faculty member, they're like, well, if I forget your name, it's not important to remember my name. It's important to keep our students first. Students gain the skills to compete for modern careers, the confidence to speak out on issues that matter to them, and a chance to achieve the dreams that they and their families have carried for generations. Most of all, our students find a place where they are truly seen and valued. On behalf of the entirety of the Board of Trustees, I want to express my profound gratitude for the work that you do to make this possible, to make our campuses special, to make our district special. The progress we celebrate today, and Convocation is an opportunity to celebrate. The lives that we change, the barriers broken, and the futures created happens because of you. Thank you all for everything that you do every single day, for our students and for our community. I wish you a great start of the fall 2025 semester with meaning, accomplishment, and joy. Let me say this, is that you never lose that joy. And if you lose it, you need to find it again of why you do what you do. Know your why. Reflect on the work that you do. Truly connect with those in your classes and in your work area, colleagues, and the community. Make fall 2025 successful for you. And now it is my honor to introduce Chancellor Brian King. And as Brian comes, I'm going to say what I said earlier today. I am the newest trustee, and I had the opportunity to travel across the nation twice to DC thus far as a new trustee, and then also throughout Sacramento. And I can tell you that our chancellor is respected, the district is respected, and our leadership is respected. Thank you so much, Chancellor King.
Thanks, Colette. Thank you so much. How we doing, FLC? If I tell a secret, can we make sure it stays just here? Everybody agree? This isn't being recorded, right? We'll edit this part out. I want to tell you a secret. How many of you are parents of more than one kid? What is the lie that we tell that we love all our kids just the same on a given day? As a chancellor, people ask me, what's your favorite college? And what do I have to say? Love them all the same. This is our fourth and final convocation at all four colleges today, so I got to tell you, Folsom Lake is my favorite college. I'll tell you some reasons why I live here. Sometimes I'll have meetings on campus here and I can walk to my house, then I regret it because then it's downhill one way and uphill on the way back. But both of my kids graduated from Vista del Lago High School, and thankfully they both have jobs and are off the payroll. It's a beautiful thing. And September 21st, 2023, at an event right here in the Harris Center, I met the woman who is now my wife at a fundraising event. So if all those other things were not enough, having my life changed in a wonderful way right here in the Harris Center topped it all off. And where's Paula Cardwell? Paul and I recently got married, not to each other, and have sort of been on that similar journey where life was good before, but then if you meet a wonderful person to share your life with, all new horizons are open. So thank you, FLC. And I met my wife on September 21st. Any fans of Earth, Wind, and Fire? Do you remember? I always will. I'm glad that song is there. So when people say, when did you meet your wife? I can say the 21st day of September. Love was changing our minds, and I'll stop right there. So anybody have a favorite number? 42? What else? 3? How about 13? 13 is my favorite number. This is my 13th year as chancellor. It would be my 13th convocation, but one convocation I was in the hospital with COVID pneumonia. Probably should have died, but thankfully got out of the hospital. But I had an excused absence, trustees, for convocation that day. So if you've been with Los Rios 13 years or more with Folsom Lake or one of our colleges, will you stand up? Those of us who are seasoned and experienced. That is a ton of experience, and many of you were at the grand opening for Oak Hall, and a lot of old-timers were around who remember when this was a pile of rocks and rattlesnakes. And look at it now. Look at what Folsom Lake has become, Folsom Lake College has become. Now, we also have many new people joining our organization this year. If you're in your first year, stand up so we can acknowledge those of you who are new. And I appreciate I've had a chance to meet many of our new faculty and staff this week at various events. And I just want to thank all of our new folks for the energy you bring and the enthusiasm you have. This is a great place to work. And those of you who are new, I'm going to share 2 facts that those who are more experienced can confirm. Number 1 is Los Rios is number 1. We're the best district in the state of California. And I'll share the numbers to back it up. It's not just a good feeling, which we should have. We are number 1, but the numbers back us up too. The second point is, because of who we are, whatever this year throws at us, we're going to be ready. We think we know some of the things that are coming up next, but the truth is we don't know them all. And we're going to be fine whatever happens, because we are Los Rios and Folsom Lake College, and we're ready. Am I right? We are ready. So tomorrow and Monday, 77,000 students are going to come from across the capital region to our 4 colleges. It's an amazing group of people with all sorts of different backgrounds and experiences, and the courage that it takes for many of our students to come and improve the quality of their life just has me in awe. And I think this photo of a student at last year's commencement really sums up the reality that, like many of us, some of our students have endured significant trauma. But look at this mortarboard, from scars to stars. Isn't that cool? That's what we're helping our students do. Take some of those difficult experience and get them to a place where their life is better and has wonderful opportunities for many years to come. It will seem like just a blink between now and May when we have commencement again, and we'll be able to celebrate together all of our students who are an important part of their journey when they receive that certificate and degree. So are you excited about what we have in store the next 9 months together? I know I am. So in community colleges, our mission can be summarized very broadly as providing access to everyone. We provide opportunities in higher ed. We serve 100% of the students who want to pursue higher education. And how many of you remember what enrollment looked like during the worst of the pandemic? You know, times were tough. Students were not able to find our colleges. But I have really good news to share you that is evidence of how we are the best district in the state of California. Can I have a drum roll, please? This is what our district has done in response to the enrollment crisis of the last several years, where, as you can see on the left hand, in the years of right after the pandemic, we had, as everyone did, a severe decline in enrollment. Many of our sister districts have not recovered and are not sure if they ever will. We have not only recovered, we are serving more students now than we did before the pandemic. And that would not have been possible with the great work of all of our faculty and staff and administrative leaders here at Folsom Lake College. One of the really big changes over the last 5 years, and there have been many, is how we provide instruction. Where before the pandemic, only about 1 in 5 of our enrollments were through remote education, and now, catalyzed by the pandemic, we have a very robust series of courses and offerings that are offered remotely. So if you look at our growth, a key to our growth has been responding to student demand, and the student demand for remote education has been very great. And that's great for equity, because many students who would not be able to leave their families or their jobs and physically come to one of our campuses now have an opportunity to study remotely, and that's a really great accomplishment. So enrollment is doing well. Another measure of our success is providing financial aid to students. Many of our students, the greatest barrier they face is financial aid. And about 4 years ago, many of you were involved, we embarked on an ambitious program to reimagine financial aid at the Los Rios colleges. And our North Star was providing more financial aid through whatever changes we made. And you look now, we're way beyond pre-pandemic levels as far as the number of Pell Grants we're awarding. And that is awesome. Thanks to everyone who has been a part of that redesign across our 4 colleges. So access is a key part of our mission, as is student success. And one of the leading measures of student success, an early indicator of how good a job all of you are doing, is course completion. And if you look at that very high year, that was the first year of the pandemic where a lot of students were allowed to withdraw. So that really spike year is not representative of typical success rates. And the good news is you see over time a substantial increase coming out of the pandemic in district-wide course success. So again, thanks to our faculty and staff and everyone who is helping our students complete courses at a higher number. Thank you. And then course completion, an early measure at the back end of our process with students is degrees. And once again, you see that trend. We are coming out of the pandemic providing more degrees to students than ever before. And that is so, so important. And many of you will be on the stage or in the audience this spring at Folsom Lake College when students are receiving their diplomas. So thank you for your work on helping more students receive their degrees. And let's take a look at specific Folsom Lake numbers. First of all, on degree recipients, again, you see FLC degree awards dipped a little bit during the pandemic, but now you're reaching new heights. So the trend is good, and this is a booming region, as all of you know. Every direction you go from here, something is under construction. So the future is really bright in increasing access here in the Folsom region. Another big change in the pandemic was the ability of students to take classes at more than one of our colleges more easily. So it used to be, to access the great classes here at FLC, students had to physically be here. Now you saw earlier how many of our classes from FLC are available remotely. That's true for the whole inventory now of the 4 Los Rios colleges. And you see that rapid increase in students who are taking classes at 2 or more Los Rios colleges. And you know, we're here in Folsom. Some of our students go to Sierra College. And I love the president of Sierra College, Willie Duncan, and I love Sierra College. But I don't want a single one of our students to leave our sister colleges here in Los Rios. You agree with me on that? We want to make sure that students stay within the family of Los Rios colleges. We wish our neighboring colleges well. Sierra, I guess that's another secret. Nobody tell your friends at Sierra that Brian said our students shouldn't go there. But the idea is we want to make sure that our students can have their needs met at Folsom Lake College and the 4 Los Rios colleges. So on the fiscal side, those of you who travel around the state know we are absolutely the envy of the state for our fiscal operations. When I became a teacher in 1992, I didn't know what a chancellor was. If you would have told me I would finish my career talking to a group of faculty and staff in this role, I had no idea that my dream was to teach, and I was able to teach for 10 years. But all of us who are in the classroom are relying on fiscal operations to be sound. And we're best in class in Los Rios and at Folsom Lake in how we handle the fiscal side of our district. How many of you are familiar with the term the bucket? So our bucket system is about compensation, but it's about a whole lot more than compensation. How many of you think you could explain to someone else the bucket system? Okay, a few of you could. In 5 minutes, all of you are going to be ready to explain the bucket system. Let's watch a video together.
California's economy always has its ups and downs. Usually, community college funding is equally volatile. In the past, for some districts, that volatility has led to massive budget cuts, furloughs, or even layoffs. So how has Los Rios been able to remain on solid fiscal footing and protect our full-time faculty and staff? Prudent fiscal policy by our board, excellent planning and analysis by our budget experts, and an innovative employee compensation model we call the bucket system. For faculty and staff who have been in Los Rios for a while, you may know the bucket system well. But for new faculty and staff, let us explain how it works. The basic premise of the bucket system is pretty simple. Each employee group is guaranteed a certain percentage of all new general fund state revenue for employee compensation, including salary and benefits. In total, about 90% of our general fund dollars go towards paying our employees. It's sort of like how Prop 98 guarantees that community colleges get their fair share of new statewide revenues, no matter how many other competing priorities there are in the state legislature. Now here's what makes the bucket system so beneficial for employees and the district. Other districts build their budgets based on estimated funds from the state budget. A lot can happen between the 12 months of a fiscal year, especially in a state with such volatile revenue projections. So if funding decreases in that time, some districts can't afford what they've already promised. As we saw around the state during the Great Recession, that can lead to furloughs and layoffs. On the other hand, if funding increases in that time, employee groups don't always get their fair share of new revenue. In Los Rios, because the bucket system guarantees a share of new revenue for employees in a fair and transparent way, we can build a prudent budget based on what we know and not what we hope to be true about the upcoming fiscal year. But that prudent approach doesn't hurt our employees. If the state provides more money than we expected, we distribute it to employees once it's set in stone, by way of one-time retro payments or ongoing salary increases. Retro payments aren't bonuses or extra pay, they are a completion of the previous year's revenue calculations. Essentially, this allows Los Rios to flatten the big ebbs and flows of that state budget volatility. It makes your salary and benefits more predictable and secure, our district much healthier financially, and helps to ensure a more stable future for our workforce and our students. And each employee group gets real control over how they spend their money based on feedback from their members. The district does not dictate how to allocate the funds to priorities like salary improvements or health insurance premiums. Employee groups have substantial discretion to make these choices based on the needs of their members. This approach also allows us to make sure we have ample reserves both district-wide and within specific employee group buckets. That's another reason we haven't furloughed or laid off full-time employees in the past like other districts. And it's also the reason we've been able to make student-centered investments. So, when state funding goes up, either with new ongoing federal funds or one-time allocations, employee groups automatically get their fair share of those funds. If state funding ever goes down, the district and employees have a healthy reserve to make sure our employees are protected. If the economy ever got really bad and ate up all of those reserves, the bucket system also ensures that no one employee group would bear the brunt of any reductions. Management, faculty, and staff would all share the pain, proportionately, fairly, and transparently. But most importantly, the bucket system makes it far less likely that this would ever happen in the first place, because we are more prepared for a rainy day than just about any other district in the state of California. Just like in your budget at home, volatility and uncertainty are the enemies of sound fiscal planning. Because of the way California's budget works, there is a lot of that in our state. Experts make a lot of predictions every year about the near and long-term future of the California economy. Sometimes they are right, sometimes they are wrong. The bucket system protects our faculty and staff from that craziness, ensures everyone gets their fair share of new revenue, prevents fighting between employee groups, and helps us stay focused on the students we are all here to serve. And that focus on serving students not only benefits them, but our employees as well. New state revenues are generally tied to how many students we serve and how well we serve them. If you have questions about the bucket system, the Los Rios budget in general, or any other parts of your employee group's collective bargaining agreement, feel free to reach out to your union leadership or the Los Rios budget office.
Good stuff, right? One amazing thing about that video, this is the 5th and final presentation I'm making in Convocation, and the video worked every time. What are the odds? It might seem a little bit of an abstraction even after you watch the video, but what the bucket means is the things you see on the screen behind me. 13 years of clean audits with no recommendations. You will not find another district in the California that has 13 months of audits without 13 years of audits without recommendations. 100 new faculty district-wide, isn't that awesome? And for the first time in several years, we'll be adding new classified positions as well. So all of that is a reflection of how we manage our resources. And for each of you as who have been working at Los Rios, how many of you have been here the last 5 years? It may not feel like the golden years in many ways, but in terms of salary, it has been the golden years. Look at how our bucket system and our allocation of resources has allowed record salary increases, both in terms of ongoing increases greater than the statewide COLA and retro checks. And yesterday when we presented at the district office, some of our friends in payroll were grabbing a brownie and leaving, and I'm like, are you going to be able to stay? And they said, no, we're cutting checks. I said, go ahead and do that. So this is the largest 5-year salary increases in the history of Los Rios. So resources are incredibly important, and one of the most enjoyable things about my job is asking people for money. Does that sound like fun? It is, because finding people who care about our students and want to make a contribution to support our students, that work is incredibly fun. And great news here, what's happened over the last 13 years, that over time, you see dramatic increases in the amount we've raised from philanthropic sources. 400% increase over the last 13 years. And I just couldn't be more proud of the work of everyone here and our fundraising staff and the contributions that many of you have made to make those successes possible. So, what's next? When I became a college president in California in 2004, if you would have asked me to predict the future, I would have had much more confidence than I do now. The future is really tough to predict, and these are volatile times. We don't know for sure what's next. I've been a CEO through the Great Depression, the Great Recession of the Great Depression. I'm not quite that old. I'm not quite that old, but I'll tell you a quick joke I've tried today. I said the 13th is my favorite number. I was born on Friday the 13th in September, so if anyone wants to send me a kind word next month on my birthday. So the joke I set up was, and I'm turning 70, don't I look great? But then people were coming up after, we had no idea, they believed it. They believed I was, so I'm not 70. But I have been around for a while as a CEO, and the things that have been hardest are the things that we did not plan for and would not have listed on the items that are next. But we do know a few challenges that we will face, and there will be some exceptional challenges that we don't see coming right now. 3 very quickly: artificial intelligence. I really appreciate that Folsom Lake College has been a leader in artificial intelligence, and I want to make sure I get all of the firsts right involving artificial intelligence. Thank you from Suha Al-Jaburi. Where are you? Only the 2nd community college AI department in California. That's pretty cool. The Folsom Lake AI program is the first AI program in Northern California. There's a new FLC AI degree, and certificates are in process. And she is one of the AI fellows in the first cohort of the California Community College Chancellor's AI Fellows program. So congratulations to everyone at Folsom Lake having a forward-looking approach to AI. What will AI mean? I don't have any idea, but we need to have the conversations and be prepared. And I asked our new faculty, and I'll ask this group, how many of our students do you think will be using AI next week? What percentage of our students will be using AI next week? 100%. I'm getting some pushback from some faculty members, and we're going to have a cup of coffee and talk about whether they're right. I don't think they are. I think every student's going to be using AI. How many of you have an iPhone? So if you have an iPhone, you're using AI every day. That's the search engine now for most of our phones. So AI will be an issue, great opportunities and significant challenges. The second issue just breaks our heart to have to talk about. It's the chaos in Washington, D.C. Every day something new comes out. Most of my life I've wanted to be informed in what's going on in the nation and around the world. Am I the only one just fatigued with trying to keep track of what's going on? And we have to fight that fatigue because there's important work we have to do, particularly with respect to the draconian policies the administration is implementing with respect to the awful treatment of our undocumented students, faculty, and staff. We can't control the policy, but we can control how we react and support our students, faculty, and staff who are directly impacted and also have family members who are. So all 4 of our colleges now have a Dream Center. We have direct aid to students as well as partnerships with legal support and all the different things we're doing. We always want to do more, but we're doing everything we know how to do and are in regular communications with the leaders at each campus. And I want to call out and lift up our specialist at FLC, Lupita Mendez, in our Dream Center. Where is Lupita? So I encourage all of you to seek out Lupita and tell her what we all know is true, that she's not the only one on the front lines. We're all on the front lines together in support of our students, faculty, and staff in this difficult time. And it just breaks my heart to think about what many of you are going through very personally. And we're going to do everything we can to support our students during this difficult time. So I think this is my 22nd fall convocation. I've only missed one when I had COVID and was in the hospital and for that excused absence. But every year, the state budget in California is a potential concern because revenues are so volatile as revenues go up and down. And I mean, the good news is we have a much better budget for community colleges in Los Rios than our partners for UC and CSU. But there are storm clouds that we can't ignore, that the state had built up a fairly large rainy day fund and have now spent the entire rainy day fund when the sun was still shining in terms of revenues increasing. The rainy day fund is not gone because revenues went down. It's because the state has spent at a much higher level than revenues. So the good news is we're the best district in the state. We're fiscally sound. We're uniquely equipped for the unpleasantness that we hope doesn't come this year or anytime soon, but could come really any month with the volatility of the budget. So we're the best district in the state of California. We're ready for what's next, and we're ready for students on Saturday and Monday. And they're going to fill our labs. The students are going to come. They're going to fill our classrooms. They'll fill our parking lots. And they'll fill our hearts with our commitment and passion to serving them well. This slide's from two-time state champion, Folsom Lake women's volleyball. And all of these student images are just heartwarming. I like this one a lot because my hope would be that all of us can support each other the way a winning team does, the way this team does. You see what's going on there? Where they're supporting one another. And on any team, there are inevitably going to be some tensions and some problems. But the best teams recognize that encouraging one another is the best way to get through those disagreements. And I think, and I know that at Folsom Lake that's important to you as well. You're going to support each other, and you have a lot of leaders here. It's a hard time to be a leader. We live in a world where leaders making hard decisions, it's hard for us to separate the fact that a leader has to make a hard decision, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the leader is a bad person. So keep that in mind with your leaders on campus having to make difficult decisions about AI and budgets and whatever that unexpected issue is in the coming year. We have student journalists across Los Rios, and we want to follow their example of asking the hard questions and being very transparent and open in recognizing that the hard questions have tough solutions, and we have to keep lines of communication open. Because before we know it, it'll be time to celebrate again at commencement this coming May. So I want to thank all of you for allowing me to finish my 5th of 5 convocation presentations today, and the last convocation of my career as your chancellor at Los Rios. What a great way to wrap up this journey. But this is not a goodbye. Over the next 10 months, there's a lot of good trouble for us to get into together, and a lot of good work that remains to be done on behalf of our students. So I encourage you, if you're teaching a class, I miss the classroom. If you're having a fun day in class and want to invite me to stop by and see what's going on, I'd love that. Any of our student services, if something cool is going on in student activity, let me know. I want to show up and help you in any way I can. So thank you for the privilege of serving as chancellor for more than 13 years and for the next 10 months. And with that, I am turning it over to President Art Pimentel. Art.
Thank you. Thank you, Chancellor King. Really always appreciate your support and your guidance. And let's give our Chancellor another round of applause for his presentation. It's just wonderful to be up here with all of you. We've had a really incredible week celebrating the grand opening, the ribbon cutting of our Oak Hall, of our new science building. I had the opportunity to see many of you there. And really, it's just it's an incredible culmination of a lot of hard work that has happened over many, many years. And it certainly just really feels like a collective win, right, for the college, for the community, and the students that we're trying to serve. And so it's just absolutely incredible. As you can see, we have a theme for our convocation, which is growing success through equity and retention. And the way we do that is through the people that we hire to be able to teach and provide the learning opportunities for our students and our community, and those who we hire to be able to make sure that our students feel welcome and have a sense of belonging. And so it is my pleasure to get to introduce those new faces and welcome them to the Falcon family. And so we are growing our faculty and staff. And if I can, as I introduce you, if I could have our new members of the Falcon family just stand up and wave so we could all see you. I don't know if the lights are still going to be dim, but maybe they're not. Hopefully they're not here. But I want to start with our new communications assistant professor, and these are by alphabetical order, by the way. So Michael Einsenstadt, let's... Addie Ellis, psychology assistant professor. She is. Nori Henk, ethnic studies assistant professor. Virginia Johnson, chemistry assistant professor. She is. Zeph Nathaniel, fire technology assistant professor. I saw him earlier, yeah. And program coordinator. Celina Navarro Rodriguez, there she is in the back. Our counselor at the El Dorado Center, thank you. Cassandra Knightling, biology assistant professor. More faculty. We have early child education assistant professor Heidi Polwaxic. We have Samuel Reevy, economics assistant professor. And we also have Al Sanchez. He's our new college nurse. All right, continuing on with our classified staff, we have Jean Croft, administrative assistant. Thank you, Jean. She's administrative assistant for the Dean of Kinesiology, Health, Athletics, and Nutrition. We have Lexi DeBella, student support specialist. Myra Garcia, administrative assistant. Every time Francis introduces himself, he has to say his entire title, and now I get it, and I'm going to do it. So Myra's the administrative assistant for the Dean of Visual and Performing Arts, Language and Literature, Library and Learning Skills, and for the Dean of Equity and Institutional Effectiveness. So a big job. We have Lillian Hale, account clerk 3 in business services. Continue with our classified staff, Jane Snyder, graphic designer in Los Rios Marketing Communications. And the wonderful thing about Jane is she's actually housed right here at FLC, so we have continual access to her and all the work that she does. We have Elisa Stager, laboratory technician, science. And we have Josh Tarzia, IT system database administrator. There he is in the back. Thank you. All right. Now we're going to move on to our new managers. And so we'll start with Will Garcia, the Dean of Kinesiology. He was interim, went through the process, and is now our permanent dean there. So thank you, Will. We have Rose Giordano, who's very familiar. A very familiar face to FLC, went to another college, regretted it, now she's back. I'm just kidding. Now, Tracy Hemingway, admissions and records supervisor. Tracy. We have our new official permanent dean of STEM, Lorena Navarro. Same situation as Will, was interim and is now permanent. We're so happy to have her here. And we also have Angelica Perez, Director of Special Populations. Overseeing our Center for Excellence. Melanie Quintel, Student Support Supervisor, also Center of Excellence. Where is Melanie? Thank you. He couldn't be here, but we do want to acknowledge him because he was here during our ribbon cutting on Wednesday. We have John Rodonzo, who's Los Rios Police Captain. And Captain Rodonzo is taking over for Kelly Benitez, Captain Benitez. So we'll see less of Captain Benitez, more of Captain Randazzo. We also have, again, someone who's very familiar to all of us and is in an interim role as the Dean of Prison and Reentry Education, Brian Robinson. Really want to acknowledge Brian for taking on the role of prep in a really important time as we've transitioned that program back to Folsom Lake College. And we also have John Skellinger, our new Dean of Career Education. John is from this region, worked at Monterey Peninsula College for 10 years and is now working here at FLC, and we're very, very happy to have him here as Dean of Career Education. And last but not least, we have Maisha Williams, our new Dean of Student Services. Excellent to have. Maisha was at Sacramento State, and now she's a Falcon and working here for us and doing a really wonderful job. Hit the ground running. All right, and just a couple of other updates in regards to hiring. And for all of you who are new to the Falcon family, I just want to thank you for choosing to work here. We really appreciate it. I know some of you could have other places where you want to work, and the talent is just incredible. The Chancellor alluded to this earlier, and it's just incredible to have wonderful and committed group of individuals who are committed to our mission and the vision that we have at FLC. So thank you for choosing Folsom Lake College. A couple of other updates that I wanted just to provide to all of you is, again, in regards to prep. I mentioned prep came back and transitioned back to Folsom Lake College. Brian Robinson is in that role as interim, and our goal, again, is to have Brian B. in that position, and we'll go out in the spring to hire a new permanent dean for prep. The good news, the chancellor mentioned this, we are, for the first time in several years, in a decade, I think the chancellor mentioned, we're actually having growth classified positions. And because of the work that all of you do every day and the individuals that we continue to serve in the growth and the outreach and the growth of academic programs, we are going to get 3 additional classified positions. And we will be going through a process. We have a process at Folsom Lake College where we prioritize our classified positions. And so just like we do with our faculty every fall, we are going to go through the same process for our classified positions, and there'll be a prioritization list that will come to me by the end of the fall. And our Vice President of Administration, Dan McKechnie, leads that in collaboration with our classified Senate. And so we're excited about that process because we have it in place. And it's been a while since we've gotten the opportunity to use it. But we are going to go through that process as we prioritize and decide where 3 positions we're going to fill. And I know there's always a lot of need, but we're going to go through that process. And again, just a continued focus on the importance of hiring diversity. Trustee Colette Harris-Matthews mentioned the importance of representation, and we all in a collective believe that and know that. And so we're going to continue to work to attract the most diverse, qualified faculty and staff that we can, especially as we're hiring some of these positions, and we go back out for some of the positions we were unable to hire during the spring. Wanted to provide you with a little bit of some data points. I tend to always do that during Convocation, provide a little bit of a visual of where we are, continuing with our theme of growing and serving our student body. This couple weekends, I had an opportunity to go to a conference where we talked about servingness and equity and just the important components and ingredients that we really need to have if we're going to continue to do the work. And one of the things that, of course, you realize right away is that this college, in all of its wisdom, has thought about all of these different ingredients and components. And we are the newest college in the Los Rios district. We're 21 years old, right? We're just barely old enough to drink. But we care about all of these different ingredients because we want our students to be successful. And some of them may be newer in thought, but I just wanted to share with you because a lot of what I'm going to talk about, it directly comes back to this graph and what we look at as we develop our missions and our goals and our initiatives around the college. And as we offer professional development opportunities, right? I know our faculty believe in inclusive pedagogy and culturally responsive curriculum and just all of the different pieces that come together to make Folsom Lake College what it is and really have our commitment of our students. So a little bit of data points. Look at the continual growth. We certainly are growing, and every single year we have continued to grow. This is hot off the press, the 11,804 students. I would anticipate, let's give a round of applause. I would really anticipate that we're going to reach over 12,000 students this fall semester. We also have enrollment status over time. So look at just one of the data points that I wanted us to have was that looking at where the growth is coming from, right? Where our growth is coming from and where we as a college need to continue to do some of this work. And we're looking at the dual enrollment numbers. Where's Janine? Is Janine here? Janine, really looking at the growth. And so where we've seen some of the growth as well as our returning students. One of the areas that I feel we need to continue to work on certainly is our continuing students. We're seeing that decline since the pandemic. And so again, when we talk about the focus, the work, retention, making sure that our students feel that they have a sense of belonging here. That is going to be really important for us to focus in the next year and the years ahead. How do we improve those outcomes and those persistent rates for all of our students? We're looking at some of the, when you disaggregate some of that data for our students of color and our marginalized communities, we see that we are improving generally overall, but we still have some work to do for sure. And I know collectively, again, we are going to be able to continue to improve some of these numbers as we continue to grow. Looking at ethnicity numbers, again, there's this idea and this concept, right, that Folsom Lake College just serves mostly affluent students, and we do. We have a large group because of just where we are as a college, but we have become a lot more diverse as an institution as we have developed programs that serve diverse populations, as we've done outreach for our communities in El Dorado County and Rancho Cordova. We've expanded the basket of programs that we offer in career education. We have also expanded the diversity, and this is a beautiful thing, right, that we have done and that we continue to focus on. But I wanted just to share, again, the data, and we continue to be more and more diverse. And I think it's important for our students, right, for us to know who our student body is, what they look like, for us to be able to do everything we possibly can to make sure that every one of them has a sense of belonging at our institution and values and supports and celebrates their identity. And so, again, this is really just a continuous look at our actual data. Every year, my first year, I remember I did a shout out because we're looking at just all the beautiful bright spots that we have at our college, and very intentional about who we're serving and our students. And I remember my first year, this is my third fall convocation, our first year, we really acknowledged the work that's happening with our veteran students. Last year, our Native American community with our NAS program, and all of the work that's really happening there in developing our partnerships with our local Shingle Springs tribe. This year, what I wanted to do is highlight the work that's happening in athletics. Could we give a round of applause to our athletics? I know we have some of our coaches here. We know how important it is for many of our students who love the sports that we offer to play the sport. But our faculty and our staff have really placed huge value and emphasis on not just doing well in the field, but doing really well in the classroom. And so you look at acknowledging the success, look at the commitment, student athletes, 83.9% success rate compared to the college-wide student population of 76.8%. And then the GPA as well is higher for our student athletes than the overall GPA for our students. And wanted to do two shout outs because this is hot off the press. The women's volleyball team is the recipient of the 2025 American Volleyball Coaches Association Team Academic Award because of how important they place on success and their GPA. So let's give them a round of applause for being acknowledged. And the women's soccer team earned the 2024-2025 United Soccer Coaches College Team Academic Award for the very same reason, the emphasis. Growth and access and retention and persistence. So I know a lot of our science faculty were all excited, but this has been many years in planning. I know Mayra Hernandez was here earlier, the director. Where is she? Where's Mayra? There's here. Our new director of our MESA program. And so very, very happy to have that kickoff. The ground, especially now that we have Oak Hall open. And I remember I just had a conversation with her early in May, and she's like, we've received our first application for MESA from a student, and it's going. So just the excitement of being able to do that, and I know we've since have gotten a lot more. And again, a culmination of our commitment to equity, That's exactly what MESA does, right? Increase the number of marginalized communities, women to go into the STEM field. The other two is Puente and Emoja. Could we do a round of applause? Because I want to thank our academic senate leaders and the faculty's interest and support in making sure that we have an Emoja and a Puente program at FLC. The Academic Senate passed a resolution earlier this spring supporting us bringing an Emoja and a Puente program. What's that saying? Show me your budget and I'll tell you what your values and your priorities are. Well, for me, this is exactly comes down to that, right? We are a very large college, we're growing, we have a very diverse student body, and many colleges, when you look at other parts of the state, other community college, they have smaller populations of Latino, Latina students, smaller population of Black students, and they have Emoja and Puente programs. And so one of the things that we are gonna be doing is moving forward. We've already sent letters of interest to both the Emoja leadership and the Puente program leadership in the state. And so again, building off of equity is part of our just overall foundation of the institution. It'll go through our process, our institutional effectiveness process, and we hope the goal is to allocate, get the approval and the support from statewide leaders, and allocate resources and have both of these programs, the Emoja and Puente program, start in fall of next year. So very, very good. OER ZTC work, I'm really proud of the work that the Affordable Learning Materials Committee did, their recommendations to move forward and support OER ZTC. Right, it is almost a real challenge. We kind of tend to challenge each other a little, but there's a little competition between colleges. I don't know if you're very much surprised by that. But our colleagues at CRC, for example, really started working on OER ZTC. And I think our students are always gonna look for opportunities for access and affordability. We know that our students that we serve look at that. And so I know our faculty are very committed to looking at ways so that we could improve, and many of you are already doing it, looking at ways for OER and offering zero-cost textbook classes or offering ZTC courses. And so that is an area that us as leaders, administration, are going to continue to focus and be able to provide all the opportunities, professional development opportunities, and do as much as we can to provide resources for that work to continue to happen. We know that affordability of materials equals access. The other thing is, again, on the same theme, the Chancellor mentioned this, you know, it's been really difficult for many of us. It's been really difficult for our undocumented communities. We have undocumented students. We have undocumented staff and faculty. And it's been a really rough several months because of the direction and what's happening with the federal administration. And in many ways, it's so difficult. I mean, for example, just to give you an example, my 11-year-old daughter, who's now in 6th grade, in the spring asked me, she's like, "Dad, I was born here, right? I'm gonna be okay." And so I had to sit there and explain to her, yes, you're gonna be okay. You don't have to worry about that. But I can't say the same thing when I have other individual students who come and also are in a very different situation. And I'm gonna tell you that this is a commitment that's to my core. Every student at FLC belongs here. Every faculty and staff member that find themselves in a situation where their DACA or anything else belongs in here. And we are gonna be doing everything we can to be able to protect our faculty and our staff and our students and make sure that they have access to the journey that they want, whatever that may be. And so I know that all of you feel exactly the same. And so thank you for that. Thank you. I know Lupita isn't able to be here, but it's just so imperative that we continue to work on this together. And as we start the new academic year, we take a lot for granted that some individuals can't. And I could imagine that it's going to be relentless, and it's going to continue. And so it's going to take all of us to be together to be able to support every one of our students, especially when many of our undocumented communities, refugee communities, and immigrant communities are feeling attacked. The other thing that I think is directly tied to this piece from my perspective, and I think to many of you as well, is the work and the conversations we've been having around non-credit. And again, we talk a lot about equity and how important it is, access and being able to support the most marginalized communities in the communities that we serve. And non-credit, I think, is definitely an opportunity. And I know Liz Swithenbank was here. Where is Liz? Is she here? There, yeah, there she is. Our District Academic Senate is really exploring the opportunity of having Los Rios offer non-credit. Liz, we're also doing it locally, and she's developing, having conversations, looking at what are some of those opportunities that exist, what are some of the potential areas like biz tech or viticulture or ESL that we could offer in non-credit, and potentially have some sort of a pilot that we could offer at the Rancho Cordova Center as an example. But there's a lot of implications with that with union contract and processes, enrollments, right, admissions and records and all of those different things. But non-credit doesn't require you to have and show residency, and there's no fee. And so again, talk about access and talk about opportunity. When all of the community college districts around Los Rios offer non-credit, we should be doing the same thing, at least offering those opportunities as well, instead of having them go to Sierra or Delta or Woodland or Solano or Yuba. And so I know that we're very committed to exploring those opportunities and those options. And so again, this is something that we're willing and will continue to support, to have those conversations and do what we can to be able to serve those students. The other program mentioned about PrEP, the PrEP program transitioned over to Folsom Lake College on July 1st, and a theme, right? PrEP, and the students that we're serving in facility. And this program used to be at FLC, went to the district. The idea was to try to scale it up, and now the decision was to bring it back to FLC and be able to serve those two facilities, Mule Creek State Prison and Folsom State Prison. We talk about equity, right? Unfortunately, a lot of the individuals who are impacted by the justice system are Black and brown individual inmates, and they need and should get access to higher educational opportunities as well. And I'm proud of the work that's happened. It's been happening for many years, and now the program is back at FLC, and we're gonna do what we do best, which is continue to focus on students, why they're important, and with our partners, with our faculty partners, to be able to develop the structure so that we could serve and address concerns that have happened in the past, right? The safety protocols, teaching, instructional supplies, addressing all of those different pieces that are really important to having a successful program, looking at other programs that are robust and successful from across the state. And so that is going to be our focus with our PrEP program this year. We have someone who's very talented in that role as the dean, who knows curriculum, who knows programs, who knows our process and the importance of shared governance. And so that it will be what we focus on in PrEP with this current year. I won't talk too much about the AI because the chancellor already mentioned it, but this is, again, something that we're going to continue to focus on. Folsom Lake College is leading the way in conversation. In many ways, we're a very innovative college. We have Suha Al-Jabouri, who is in the audience as well. We thank her. Yes, let's give her for her voice and her expertise. And also Paula Cardwell is here. Last year we hosted the first AI Summit. the Los Rios District-wide AI Summit, and this year we're going to host it again. It's going to be on Friday, November 14th, so all of you will get. Continuing on the same theme, our strategic plan, we have two large goals, and where's Lisette? I see Brasil Cruz. I saw her. She might have just scooted out. She's getting ice cream ready for everybody. But she did a lot of work with our college community to update our strategic plan. And I think this is one of, again, you know, we have so many different types of plans that are really important to decision-making, resource allocation, focusing on our mission and vision and values as an institution. And she did a lot of work with many of you. But she wanted, you know, I think the committee and the college wanted to be very, very succinct and very focused in terms of the work and not lose track of what ultimately we want to do. And so goal 1, identify, address, and eliminate barriers and equity gaps among student populations to promote diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, and social justice. And then we have, of course, the strategy behind it. And then goal 2, support an inclusive, anti-racist, and responsive campus culture that reflects and serves our community. So thank you, Lisette, and every single one of you who was involved in updating our college's strategic plan. Could we give another round of applause to all of those of you who helped? And finally, just growing our facilities. What did we just celebrate? Ribbon cutting of our new Oak Hall. Just so much excitement around this building, and rightfully so, right? I mean, can you imagine getting to teach in the building, or just being a student that gets to hang out and learn in all of those labs? And so, thank you to all of the faculty. Missy Williams, where's Missy Williams, who I think she's a little bit sad that she's not going to have this huge project to oversee, but we're just incredibly proud of you, Missy, and thank you for all of what you did to make that building come to fruition, as well as all of everyone else who participated in Oak Hall. So proud of that. A couple of other areas when it comes to facilities, right? The viticulture program, we talk about the importance of career education. We do a really good job with general education. Now it's really, really trying to build upon the career education programs that we have, expand career education programs. Our training vineyard has been in the works for quite some time as well, and it just is about to be finished. So the project is substantially complete. That's the notes that Christy had me on here. So it's just about done. But it really is going to be incredible to support our viticulture and our enology program. And we expect to have the ribbon cutting for the viticulture, for the training vineyard next spring, following the planting of the first vines there. And so really excited. I know Claire, our viticulture faculty, is also very excited. Another program, partnership that we've developed in the last several years is the renovation of 4 rooms in the Rancho Cordova Center through a $2.5 million donation from Sutter Health in partnership. Yes, let's do that. Incredible work from Paula Allison and the team to be able to make that happen, and we're so proud. And it is the largest single donation in the Los Rios district's history, and they made it because of the partnership that we have with Sutter, the belief that we can make sure that we are answer to the call of expanding allied health programs that will then serve their patients for Sutter, Dignity Health, Marshall, and of course UC Davis Med, and then Kaiser. All 4 major healthcare providers are actually building new facilities in Folsom, and so we're going to be prepared to develop the workforce that they need for their facilities. Last thing that I forgot to mention about the Sutter Health and Rancho Cordova Healthcare Hub, we're actually going to have celebrating, believe it or not, the 10th anniversary of the opening of the Rancho Cordova Center, but also a ribbon cutting for the remodeling project of those new classrooms on December 4th of this year. So lots of celebrations, yes. I wanted to give the college a quick update about the hotel idea, right? The hotel concept that we had. I know I started mentioning this early on as a potential project, and now we have a feasibility study. We hired Hunden Partners to do a full feasibility study about whether this is actually a feasible project. To develop a private-public partnership where the district would hire someone to build and manage the hotel concept. So the idea would be a hotel and conference center that would support the Harris Center, our athletics facilities. A lot of the when we host a lot of competitions, a lot of individual teams come to Folsom, and what a great way to welcome them if we had a facility right here on campus. And also a way to do some revenue sharing as well, to be able to support and boost the Harris Center. And so, and fourthly, we could potentially tie some instructional programs here and also offer students with emergency housing opportunities as we currently do now. Right now, when a student comes and they're homeless, and we give them a quick certificate, a voucher, basically a voucher for them to go to one of the local hotels, stay for up to 2 weeks until they get on their feet or get some longer term housing. So again, this is one of those concepts and ideas that could potentially work. And as we get that final recommendation and report, feasibility report, I'll be sharing it with our chancellor and then have additional conversations about whether this is something that we want to continue to pursue. And then, of course, we have our facilities master plan. Dan McKechnie is also leading the conversation and the facilities master plan update. This is really important, again, as we plan the next 10 years, right? We heard a lot of the findings of that space utilization study. We know that our college is growing. It's going to continue to grow. As we prepare for the future, what are going to be some of those important needs that we have? And just look at, this I think is a rendition from last year. We have a future parking structure. Is that something that we continue to focus on? I know it was a problem before. Now with the different modalities online instruction, maybe we focus on some other opportunities and resources where we would want to place our resources. The next building for Folsom Lake College would be 2.2, which is basically a mirror image of the Oak Hall building that we have. Lots of work ahead for the year. So in closing, the chancellor got to share a nice video, and I want to share a really nice video because our public information office worked on earlier this year. This is hot off the press for everyone because I think this is a way for us to continue to tell a story, to continue to do outreach and encourage our students to come. But it's also an opportunity for me to share Folsom Lake College's story. I was going to say Falcontude, but to share the story about our college and everything that we have to offer. So this is a very short video that's on our website and that we use, our outreach folks use to recruit and get people excited about our college, and it really is. So thank you to PISO and everyone who helped work on the video. I'm gonna leave you with our video and then I'll come back very quickly.
Hi, I'm Alma.
And I'm Cameron.
And we want to welcome you to Folsom Lake College. It's the newest college of all the Los Rios schools, and it is the best place for amazing athletic facilities and performing arts.
It's also just a great place to get a whole college experience while staying close to home.
At Folsom Lake College, we are open to everyone. Whether you are a returning student or coming straight from high school, our goal is to help you achieve your dreams. If your goal is to transfer to a 4-year school, We have challenging curriculum and supportive faculty to help prepare you for success.
It really has helped me set up the exact classes that I need. So I came and I met with a counselor. They literally listed out my entire 2 years here of what I'm gonna have to do, and they're the exact classes that match up for Sac State.
If your goal is to get a job right away, we have hands-on career education training that teaches you the practical skills to get you hired.
You're going to be able to go out, be comfortable in the professional realm. All the classes have been a really awesome experience.
If you are undecided and unsure of your goals, that's okay. You have an entire team of success coaches, counselors, and career specialists all here to guide you along the way.
You really find your identity in college. The professors are invested and they really show you how to get involved.
I feel very comfortable because in this college I find my own place. In my class I have students with different backgrounds. I can learn from them, also they learn from me.
Our college is a welcoming place for students of all backgrounds. With our Equity Center, you can learn, connect, and celebrate our diverse community on campus through events, affinity groups, and resources. On campus, we offer modern classrooms and the largest dedicated science facilities for a community college in our region.
There's so many things to do here. There's just so many smart people, and it helps you bounce ideas off of each other. It's just a very collaborative environment.
In our Innovation Center, students from all disciplines converge in a creative lab space to discover, create, and collaborate together. The Harris Center features stellar performances for the entire community, and students get to learn firsthand the inner workings of musical and theatrical productions. And with our state-of-the-art athletic fields and facilities, you can cheer on your fellow Falcons in one of the best community college athletic complexes in Northern California.
I feel like I'm part of the community here at school. From meeting different students to all the different staff members, I really feel like I have a place, and it's at Folsom Lake College.
Wherever your journey takes you, Folsom Lake College is your bridge to success. Nowhere else can you get this level of attention, support, instruction, and facilities all so close to home.
So now that you know more about Folsom Lake College, come and check us out.
We're so excited for you to become a Falcon.
I love seeing it every single time. So again, thank you everyone for all of the work that you do. We do have a special treat today. Apart from ice cream, Mark Swink, Chewy Swink, contacted us last week, and the Los Rios Mariachi Band is going to be playing and greet you as we exit. Have a wonderful semester, colleagues. Thank you for all you do. Let's have some ice cream.